Summertime is always beautiful on the island of Sodor. The water sparkles in the sun, and beautiful flowers blossom everywhere. It is a busy time for all the engines. They collect lots of vacationers from the docks and show them all the splendid sights. James shows them the seaside. Emily shows them the windmill. And Thomas shows them the Sodor suspension bridge. The bridge is one of the vacationers' favorite sights. And each night, when the work is done, Gordon, Henry, James, Edward, Percy, and Thomas go back to their home at Tidmouth Sheds. The sheds are where they rest their wheels, cool their boilers, and talk about the day's adventures. The sheds are the engine's home. They are warm and snug, and most of all, they are a cozy place to sleep. One morning, Sir Topham Hatt came to Tidmouth Sheds. He had a very important announcement to make. A new airport is to be built on Sodor. It will bring more visitors to the island than ever before, he told the engines proudly. The engines were very excited. We'll get to see airplanes, puffed Percy. And show even more visitors the sights, chuffed Thomas. Thomas and Percy arrived at the airport building site. They were bringing bricks and timber to the builders. Think of all the vacationers, chuffed Thomas. And of all the airplanes, puffed Percy. But then, Harry and Bert arrived.
Stinky Stevie's in the way again,
Mumbled Harry.
Why do we have to work near them?
Grumbled Bert. This made Thomas and Percy cross. They didn't want to work near the diesels either. The diesels were oily, and they were very different than the steamies. Thomas, Percy, Harry, and Bert worked at the airport all morning. Dirty diesels, moaned Percy. I don't like them. The diesels bumped Thomas and biffed Percy. Thomas and Percy thought they would like working at the airport, but Harry and Bert stopped them having fun. I wish we could teach those diesels to behave themselves, huffed Thomas. Thomas had a busy day. That afternoon, he had to collect some timber from the yard. But when Thomas arrived, Harry and Bert were already there. Their freight cars were being loaded with planks of wood, ready to take to the building site.
We've got a really important job to do,
boasted Bert.
More important than any Stevie's job, added Harry.
Thomas was cross. But then he had an idea, a very naughty idea. Thomas rolled quietly up behind Bert's freight cars, and just as the crane dropped the timber, he gave them an extra big shunt. Laughed Thomas. Now you'll be late for your important job. And he puffed away. Later, Thomas and Percy were shunting freight cars in the yard. They were having a wonderful time. They were bumping freight cars and blowing their whistles. Then Diesel rolled into the yard.
I hear you've been making trouble for Ari and Bert.
Oil Diesel?
But you won't make trouble for me. I've got an important job to do.
Thomas had another naughty idea. Thomas and Percy were having great fun. Next, Thomas and Percy had to go to the smelter's yard. They were going to collect some steel girders. But when they puffed into the yard, they saw something that was very, very frightening. It was Diesel 10. Diesel 10 was big and strong, and he had a crunching, crushing claw. Thomas and Percy watched. The giant claw crushed the iron and steel. Thomas and Percy shivered. They thought Diesel 10 looked very scary. Let's come back when Diesel 10's not here, Thomas puffed nervously. And they raced away. That evening, Thomas and Percy were puffing happily back to the sheds. They couldn't wait to rest their wheels and talk to their friends about the day's adventures. But as they puffed home, they were very surprised.
Look, puffed Percy. The bridge isn't painted.